I always write letters to God. So there isn't anything that I have not been through or anything that I have not gotten from God that I did not write him a letter and say, Lord, I want this to happen.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
As listen, as you know, we always begin the Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast with smiles, sense of joy, just connecting with my sister. So I'm hanging out with the beautiful Tanesha Mills. And Tanesha does have a lot to say. And we're going to jump in. Now, you're talking about an entrepreneur. You're talking about an author. You're talking about a speaker and spiritual life coach. And we're going to get to share with you all of what Tanesha brings to the table. And of course, six.
Six.
Yes,
6.
Big ones. Beautiful kids. Fortunately, for me, I spent some time on our launching day for the Ocala Steel Orchestra with some of our kids, the 3 boys.
4, yeah, the
four boys.
The youngest boys. The older 2 are out of the house, but the 4 youngest.
Energy.
Boys, yes.
I mean, we did a nice little musical stuff down by Marian Cultural Alliance at the courtyard. And they were involved. I mean, you're talking about dancers, you're talking about folks who pick up on these instruments. As you teach them something, they grasp it. And all of that, of course, is because Tanesha, their mom, is a driving force. Welcome to Ocala Arts and Entertainment Podcast, Tanesha. We are happy to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Beautiful.
I'm very, very
So,
happy
Tanesha, are we starting things off born and raised in Ocala or coming from another space, be it New York, Trinidad?
So, just like I'm multifaceted, and I think it's because I was raised in several different areas.
Okay.
So I was born in Ocala, and I
Right.
was here until 6, and then I moved to Washington State.
Oh, okay.
Washington State.
Right.
After Washington State, moved back here at the age of 11 for about 6 months. Then we moved to Atlanta, and I spent my finished my elementary year and my middle school years, and then in high school, my 9th grade year, I actually went to Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I came back and got married for 20 years. I was in a relationship, married for 18 of those 20, and 6 beautiful children came out of that. So I've been a little bit of everywhere.
Right. So coming out of Atlanta and then Maryland.
Yes, and then here.
And then you back in Ocala where the ring ended
roots.
up on the finger.
Yes,
and,
yes.
6 energized bunnies.
Yes,
Energized bunnies.
definitely that. Definitely that.
Really, really interesting. So is it when you settled in Ocala, how did things start to materialize? You are in a relationship, of course, but you are at some point going to find your voice,
Yes.
your entrepreneur, self inside there. So what is happening for you to start moving in that direction?
Well, I think I've always been an entrepreneur because at 12, I was cleaning apartments and babysitting for money.
Oh.
And when I went to Maryland, I opened a Lily Dilly shop down there. My dad had a row house and had a small window, and I would serve Lily Dillies during the summer and after school, and I would have a line around the corner up in Maryland.
Wow.
And I came back and got settled, but what really caused me to do it as an adult is I wanted to be available for my kids. I didn't want anyone to tell me I could not get, I have to get permission because my child is sick. No.
Right.
I don't want that. And so I recognized then, I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time.
Yes.
very long time. And I just decided that was just a lifestyle that fits me the most.
So I can imagine, what is it like for folks out there who they are in a relationship and then, kids coming up, the first kid, second kid, how are you balancing Tanesha Mills and your entrepreneur side to still get and focus on getting stuff done in that area, because you have these kids and,
Right. Well, I never was the person to feel like I had to give something up to be a parent. I just cultivated them into my world.
Okay, that's brilliant.
So I didn't separate the two. Okay. Oh, you know how some people, my kids, they ruined it. I'm not able to be an entrepreneur. They're taking this from me. No, I cultivated my entrepreneurship path to embrace me.
Okay.
My entrepreneurship path embraced me.
Right.
Everything that you said, from the writer to every business I've owned, it embraces me. I don't embrace it. I make it come into my world.
Right.
Everything that enters my world, anyone that enters my world, they have to be able to dive into it where I don't have to sacrifice anything.
Right. I
don't sacrifice my dreams for my kids.
I love that.
I involve them in my dream and make them a part of it because that's a gift. I see it as something that God gave me to cultivate. Children are a gift from the Lord. So they're also a part of it. That's why.
You said you were a preacher as well.
Listen, I try not to preach.
But because that is some really powerful, that's a powerful way to look at things. You are blessed with seeing things a certain way and moving towards bringing what you are blessed with to reality, and you are involving everyone. Your kids being at the forefront of it, and whosoever is coming into your space. This is the Tanesha's world. You have to.
That's right. But I'm respectful of your own.
Of course.
So I make sure that even if they come in, I also compliment. I have this thing where I always try to be an asset, never a liability.
Right.
So if you come into my world, you also gain something. All of the gifts and the anointing that God has placed on the inside, it's a gift also. So I try, and that's why people come and they're able to be there, and things are able to, come in and support me, is because I then take and I give it back. It's very interchangeable.
Yeah.
Very interchangeable.
It's beautiful what you said just now, because immediately I connected with two brothers that are really doing great work in bringing financial education to the table, and that's Earn Your Leisure, or Earn Your Leisure for someone who may pronounce it that way. So EYL, Assets Over Liability. It's a beautiful, set of podcasts to check out. So you are stirring things up as an entrepreneur, and you are moving towards, is it you're going to be a speaker first, or are you writing your book first?
So one book is already published, and 5 more are being to the stage of getting published. And so they go hand in hand. Now people, let's back up a little bit and let me tell you what happened to get me there. So I was in the relationship 18 years, that story's out there. We did get a divorce after that, and then Jermaine passes away a year and a half after the divorce, so it's been 3 years now. And I wrote the books to grieve properly. So even although I've always journaled, that was just the perfect time to get all of that collectively and put it in books. And it so happened that it made up 6 books. Okay. And that's why I was able to write it in a year. They're like, how were you able to write? Well, listen, I was going through a lot. I didn't want to turn to drugs. I didn't want to turn to anything else. I did what I knew. I dove into business more. So I was on the cover. I've been, in several publications. So I have a book that I'm I think that's gonna be the one that comes out next. It's called Beauty for Ashes: A Woman's Transformation.
So beautiful.
Beauty for Ashes.
Beauty for Ashes.
Yes.
Okay. The book before that is called what?
God's Daughter.
Okay, and that one is out.
Yep, God's Daughter, You Know Who You Are.
So folks could buy that now. That's on Amazon. Yes. Okay, so here, hey, look, that's coming up.
I sold several copies, and yes, I've heard a lot of good feedback about the book.
Beautiful. All right. So, you know what? I'm sure someone is thinking, how are you able to write? You are grieving. How are you able to mind kids and still find time? Because we're talking about how many kids?
6.
6 kids.
6 of which?
Now, is it 6 kids? And then after having 6 kids, you're now going to write your first book, God's Daughter. So how do you find time?
COVID. It happened during COVID. That's what Jermaine, which is their father, bless him, died from COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we were home anyway. And to clear my mind, it was either lose my mind or do something with the thoughts.
Yes.
So I had to put them on paper.
So you got in, I mean, that's really a God's daughter kind of, because to balance, that's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah, that's very heavy. I mean,
it is.
You know, you have to stop and it's difficult to even place yourself in, you know, some folks may say, put yourself in my shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
COVID struck down your loved one, and you have 6 kids.
All of which they're all his children. So all 6 of my children lost their father at one time.
And you are now moving in the direction to produce a book.
Yes, and it's done.
God's
I get
Daughter.
it done.
That's interesting.
And
that's
I get it
very
done.
deep.
And the other 6 are all written at the same time, and I'm publishing them now. As a matter of fact, I wrote so much. The thing that's holding it up is having to go back and read what I wrote and process it.
Yeah.
And like, I can't believe, because it was raw emotion, what I was feeling in the moment.
Right. So it's all coming out.
It's like, wow, I wrote this. And I can't believe I survived it. It's like I'm watching my own movie.
So God's Daughter is the first one. It's up. The second one you said is
Beauty for Ashes: A Woman's Transformation.
And then you have 4 more.
Yes.
Do you have the titles for those already?
Yep. They're all, like I said, they're all being edited. One is called God's Daughter, You Know Who You Are. That's published. And then Beauty for Ashes: A Woman's Transformation. That talks all about the relationship, the transitions, what I felt when he passed away, when I felt when I went through the divorce, all of that. And then you have Dear God. That is where I always write letters to God. So there isn't anything that I have not been through or anything that I have not gotten from God that I did not write him a letter and say, Lord, I want